How many of you remember managerial grid? Anybody remembers managerial grid? Any guesses? Okay, I'll share the picture. See if you can think about it or if you can recognize this picture. Can anybody see this picture and at least remember now what is managerial grid? You all have studied in MOB. Okay, no idea? Yeah. So in managerial grid, if you see, we are measuring the manager style in this. Okay. So in the managerial grid, if you see on the x-axis, it is called concern for production. On the y-axis, it is called concern for people. So in real life, we usually find two sorts of people. Okay, people who are concerned for production means people who are always concerned about work. Okay, and people who are concerned about people means they value more relations, they value people rather than work. Suppose I am a manager. I have to give you an assignment and you have to complete it by today evening. Okay. So if I am a manager who is concerned for production, okay, I will say today you have to do and submit this report. You are saying that you are sick and you can't do today. But since I am always concerned for production, I am saying no matter how much sick you are, I don't care. I want this job to be done today. Okay. That is a manager who is always concerned for production. Now, suppose I am a manager who is concerned for people and you are coming and saying, I'm sick today, I can't do the work today. Then what you do is you say, go home today, also do not come tomorrow, do the work whenever you want. Okay. So, in one case, you are very strict and you do not care whether the person is sick or not, you want the work to be done. And in another case, you are not at all strict about work, you're not concerned about work, but you're concerned about the person. Okay, both these styles are existing. Okay, but we should not be, no, it is not theory x theory y, it is slightly different. Okay, yeah. So in both these cases, you should not be high on one side or high on other side. Okay, see, if you see, there is something called low one. The scaling is 1 to 9. Okay, 1 to 9 on x axis, 1 to 9 on y axis. So if I am saying 1 comma 1 coordinates, it means that I am neither people oriented nor I am work oriented. Okay, so this means impoverished management. Okay, if you see 1 comma 9, okay, it means I'm very low on task and very high on people. It means country club management. Why is it called country club? Is usually in the clubs we party, we celebrate, we enjoy. We are not bothered about work. That is the reason it is called country club, so that we can remember it easily. Okay. If you see 9 comma 1, 9 comma 1 is like task master. You have to do the task irrespective of what you have. So here I am highly concerned about tasks only. Task means job to be done. Okay. So 9 comma 1 is very serious, very strict person, always work oriented person. Okay. And if you see the highest one, 9 comma 9, it is team management. It means that I am concerned for people equally and I am concerned for production also equally. I am giving equal status to both of them. Okay. What is middle of the road management? 5 comma 5. And do you see a difference between 5 comma 5 and 9 comma 9? If so, what is the difference? A 9,9 person is really very good at handling the team. He knows when to be strict, when to be free with people. Okay. But if it is a middle of the road management, he is not able to equally manage. Okay. He's not able to control. Sometimes he is very friendly, sometimes he is not friendly. He is getting the task done half. He is concerned for the people have. Like he's not able to effectively manage. But still, middle of the road is better than impoverished management, task management, and country club management. Clear so far,
Yes,
everybody?
ma'am.
Anybody did not understand anything? Let me know now. Use chat. No issues.
Ma'am, is team so team management is only preferable, right?
Yes, definitely. Team management is what we have to achieve at the end of the day. Because if you are a country club management, you will not get anything done. If you are a very strict person and you are only focused about tasks, nobody will respect you at the end of the day. They'll like you in the office while you're working and everything. Are he's very good at his job, they'll say. But at the end of the day, you will not have many friends. You will not have a team to work out, or you will not have that. So, in a country club, you will have lots of friends, but nobody will listen to you. Even suppose there is an emergency of work or something, but if your approach is country club, nobody will think it is an emergency. They'll think, ah, yahi hai na, chalta. Even if we do not do, chalta. Like that, they'll think. And impoverished is, he is not at all bothered about management. He'll do just his work. He is not bothered about what other people are doing. So, we should not be having these three styles. We should be focusing only on team management. It means that we should value people equally as much as we should value the work also. Okay, shall we move
Yes,
on?
ma'am.
Okay, yeah. So what is grit training? Grit training is, first of all, you have to have a managerial grid and assign each employee what is his style of learning or of talking. Okay, by understanding each employee, do you think I'll be able to approach him easily? Suppose I know one person who is like very interested in having a social network. He always boasts of having so many friends there or here or something. Okay, right now I want to get things done by him. So what should I do to make him do things? Can anybody guess? Think this is as a role play. One person is always on a social network. He's like very good. He's always has lots of friends and is very friendly and everything. Now I have to give him an assignment and get the thing done by today evening. So what approach should I need to get the thing done is what I want to know. Any guesses? Anybody wants to answer? No answers? Suppose you are very friendly, you want the person to act and get the thing done. What will you do? You will join the group. You will see what are his likes and what are his not likes, and you will try to get into his like group and you will try to befriend him. Yes or no? On a social network. You'll say, Are you are also on Insta, I'm also on Insta. Okay, I'll send you a request, accept or something like that. Yeah. So you approach him in the method that he knows best. What is convenience? Mahesh, I did not understand. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Mahesh. Okay. His audio mic is not working, I guess. Okay, we'll move on. Okay. So now I'll try to understand each person separately and then I'll try to understand their style and move in their style itself. Suppose one person is there and he is not at all interested in chit chat. Now I am going to him and asking him, where did you buy your pant? Where did you buy your shirt? Or wow, what a hairstyle, very good hairstyle and everything. Do you think he'll get irritated with me or do you think he'll like it? Just because I'm a boss. Just because I'm a boss,
Probably.
he will say answer the questions. But do you think he'll like it? He'll think, array,
No.
why this all pep talk and everything? Why can't he just assign me the work so that I can do and finish it off? Okay, that will be his style. So As a manager, you have to understand each and every person's style of learning or style of working. That is very essential. Usually, many people can, almost all the people can be divided into these two categories: task oriented people and people oriented. So, you have to identify which style suits to the employee and approach them in that style. Okay. The second one is teamwork development. Okay, if you see in a team, usually there are around 40 or 50 people, and you can see that among the 40-50 people, 20 people are like very good, they'll do the work and everything, and the 30 people need to be pushed, as Chandrasekhar said, the theory x theory y. Okay, so for a team to be working efficiently, again I have to understand how to make them work together. Okay, so for every team y person, and I should assign a team x person, means it should be like, yeah, you have to take care, you have to follow up of the work whether it is being done or not. I'm not saying you are his boss or something like that. I'll just give a assignment, a responsibility about the team y person, that they have to guide the team x person. Now what is x and y? Anybody remembers? Hopefully. Theory Y people are the people who accept responsibility and they do the work whenever I give them. Okay. Theory X people are the people who need
Who need?
external motivation. Okay. Yeah, very good. Yeah. So theory X people are the people who lack motivation. So I will pick at random 20 people who are self motivated, self driven people, and I'll ask them to just keep an eye on other people or to guide them or keep on motivating the team. Or I'll take on me only this assignment and I'll keep on motivating these people. The other people, theory Y people, I'll just keep track of the work, whether they are doing or not. But for theory X people, I'll go in a bit deep. Are you done with this work? What are you doing right now? Like that questions I'll ask. Okay. But if I'm asking these questions to a theory Y person, he'll think, why does he keep on asking me questions? Doesn't he believe me or something like that? So their self esteem will go on a low level if you are asking more questions for a theory Y person. But if you are asking for a theory X person, then he'll think that yes, he is observing everything that I'm doing, so I have to do work constantly. You're understanding the difference between my managerial style between these two people? This is how I'll develop a teamwork spirit, because not many people are oriented towards work. Okay. Now, what is intergroup development I am talking about here? What is the intergroup development? Already I have a teamwork. Okay, already I have a team. I'm trying to build a synergy between them. I'm trying to identify who can do work, who cannot do work, and then I'm trying to gel everybody. So what is intergroup development? Does it mean without me there is a group existing? Yeah. Suppose I'm a class teacher. Okay, you all have a formal group where the class teacher is there, principal is there, everybody is there, and you also have an informal group where no teachers are there. Okay, so why do you need a group where no teachers are there, even though the only common objective for you all is class 1C? Formal or informal, the people are same, but only thing is faculty is not there. So why are you creating another informal group? Is because not everything can be told in front of the faculty, in front of class teacher. Similarly, the team also can say only a few things in front of team leader or team manager. But again, if you see, all the team will have an informal group where they again bond with each other, they party with each other, or they sometimes go to movies or something like that. So intergroup development is also a criteria that I have to take care. Okay. Now, as a manager, do you think I have to say go and party and go to movies and enjoy between yourself and do not take me? Will I tell directly like that? Or
No.
what will I do? Yeah. Why? Yeah, then what will I do? What will I do to develop this informal group? Any idea? I'll do nothing. These groups are automatically developed. Once a team is formed, then groups are automatically formed, especially informal groups. The informal group objective will also be same, but the conversation will be mostly informal. And the team manager does not have anything to do with the group, or informal group or formal group. Because did the class teachers told you to form an informal group for anybody of you? No, you all formed it on your own. Yes or no? Did anybody suggest you form a group?
No.
No, you realized on yourself that you need a group to correspond. So that is how it is formed. So intergroup development is the next phase. Okay. Developing ideal strategic corporate model. Okay. Many terms are there in this. What is corporate strategic model? Any idea? First of all, I will say the organization will get profits only when the teams do it very well. And the teams, when can they achieve objectives, is when all the members can reach the goals, or when all the members finish the thing that they have been given, or the assignments that have been assigned to them. Okay. Right now, if one member is not performing well, do you think the team will suffer along with him? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So as a team manager, I have to inculcate this in the team. I have to tell that if each and every person will fulfill their task, assigned task, then only the project will be done. And if the project is done, then only they can submit to the client, then only the company will get the revenues, then only they will be getting hikes or appraisals or something like that. So, as a manager, I have to drive this point to all the team members, because usually if you see, many people think, is the company running only by me? If I don't do work, will the company close down? You might be hearing this sort of sentences from many employees and even students also. Why should I do the work, somebody else will do? Is it necessary that I only should do? Yeah, this feeling is there in many people. So as a manager, I have to develop this thing in the team members. And how can I get this? If you remember MBO in your first sem, management by objectives, I have to conduct regular meetings and try to tell them what is expected of them. And if they are achieving that goal, then then they can reach the next point, and that's the next point. And they can climb high on the corporate ladder. Corporate ladder is nothing but the career ladder. Like first instance, you will be a team member, then team lead, then team manager, then senior manager, like that. You can grow in the company. This is what I have to do in the grid training. In the grid training, everything is behavioral training, especially this aspect, because it is very important for a team manager to understand his team. First, I have to understand my team, then only I can get the things done. If I'm not able to understand my team, then I can do nothing. Okay. Next one is implementing the ideal strategic model. Yeah, just because I'm very good at speaking, some people really speak a lot. They give great, big motivation and inspirational speeches. But if you come to the action part, they are nowhere to be seen. Okay. So they do not follow up. But what we actually need is complete follow up till the end. Many people do not do this because they think their job is done in motivating them. But if you see, the motivation lasts only 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or might be 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or something like that. It is a continuous thing. Suppose I ask somebody to wake up every day in the morning at 6 o'clock. Since you like me or something, you will do. You will do first day, you will do second day, third day, and again on the fourth day, everything will be, acha, ma'am, anyhow does it know, so why should I get up? It's okay. And again, you will come back to your original position. So, similarly, all the speeches or all the grid training and everything that you give to your team members also, it lasts only temporarily. So, you should follow up and you should see whether it is being implemented continuously or not. Okay. If you are not following it up, then all your speeches, motivation, training, everything will go in rain. Okay. See the next one, systematic critic. OD program is critically evaluated. Okay, what is OD? Organization development. Okay, when is the organization developed? When the team is developed, when the individual is developed. Okay, so do not get confused by OD program word. OD program is nothing but development of individual people, that's in a hierarchy. Individual development, team development, company development. Company development is nothing but organization development. Okay, is critically evaluated on the grounds of efforts made and shortcomings encountered while running the program. In case the shortcomings are severe, the program may be redesigned. Again, if you see, many of us believe, suppose I want to try today, I want to do a painting. So I try and I do a painting by copying it from paper or something. So after drawing the painting, I'll try to compare with the original one and the one that I did. Okay. After doing it, I'll find out what are the exact things that are matching and what are the very bad things that are not at all matching. So I'll give myself a feedback saying that next time when I draw, I should cover these topics. Like these topics should, like here the this painting should be here, the brown color should be in something something like that. So I am giving feedback to myself after I did the painting. Similarly, when I am implementing this training to all the employees, but still I am not able to see the results, again I have to go back and try to analyze again with managerial grid. Again, I have to study the people's styles or my style. I should analyze myself as well as both the team. Okay, this is called grid training. Okay, any doubts? Tell me now.
Ma'am, can you repeat grid training once?
Okay.